You're watching Less Than Epic's coverage of the Overwatch League. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another weekly picks video from LTE. Before we dive in, I want to cover some changes that we have planned for this series as we look to improve the series and hopefully get some more viewers. The first change that we're going to have, which is being put in place this week, is it'll be a solo recording for the picks from now on. This will allow us to focus more on stats and hopefully keep these a tad shorter. The second change will be a revamped look and feel, and we think that it's going to be much better. You'll see that change drop in Stage 4, but you can get a sneak peek of it now on screen. Last but not least, I want to include you, the viewers, in the series by posting a poll each week for you to vote in, and I will include your picks in the results as well. I want to know if you guys can keep pace with the LTE crew, or if you guys are going to scrub it up and drop picks like the Shanghai Dragons. Please drop me some comments below and let me know your thoughts on these changes. We are moving on to week 4, which leaves us only this week and next week before the stage playoffs, and we still have all 12 teams able to mathematically make it in. However, with Boston sitting at the top and the Valiant and New York sitting right behind them, I think the fight will fall for the 4th playoff spot. Oddly enough, starting off this week, we have San Francisco that are 4-2, but Gladiators, Seoul, Philly, and Houston all are just one game behind. Looking at the map differential at the start of the week, Boston could easily lose the number 1 seed if they continue to play close 5-game matches. However, a fun fact to note is that Boston is the first team to beat all 3 Korean-based rosters. They could also potentially be the first team to go undefeated in a stage. Nova's boys in blue are completely rocking it right now. Our first matchup of the week has the lowly Shanghai Dragons going up against the Boston Uprising. This vote went in Boston's favor. Boston has won both of the previous matches with these two teams at a combined map score of 7-2. Boston is running on a 10-game win streak, while Shaw is, well, they're running on a 28-game losing streak. RIP. Keep an eye open for Striker as he keeps playing a dominant Tracer. Match 2 this week is almost as easy to pick since Valiant is one of the top 3 teams this stage, and Houston has only started to bounce back from their stale start to Stage 3. All 3 of us took Valiant. Looking back on these two teams, they've only faced once, and Valiant destroyed Houston 4-0. Last 5 matches have Valiant at 4-1 and Houston at 2-3. However, Houston has had much tougher matchups in Boston, Philly, and New York, while Valiant has had some easy wins versus Shanghai and San Francisco, although it's still weird to think that San Francisco is 4th place at the moment, and Dallas. This could honestly go either way, but I think Valiant will push through and keep their playoff dreams alive. The last match of our Wednesday schedule brings Dallas Fuel and the Florida Mayhem. We have all decided that Florida is going to take this round as well. If you would have asked me this question in Stage 1 or Stage 2, I think we would have been a no-brainer to go for Dallas in this win. But Florida is a completely changed team. They've played each other twice, with Dallas winning once and Florida winning once. However, the last 5 games each has played shows the slight edge by Florida. Florida is 1-4, while Dallas is 0-5. If Dallas wants a chance to win this, they need to play strong on Anubis so they can take that momentum into Oasis, where Florida has struggled. Go into halftime up 2-0, and maybe Dallas can do it. Starting off our Thursday schedule, we will see London and the Gladiators. I was honestly torn on this game, and the more I look at the stats, the more I want to go vote for Gladiators. But it's been set, and everyone is taking London. I finally settled on London because I think they're going to pull this out just with pure heart. So looking at these stats in a head-to-head, Gladiator is actually 2-0 with a 6-3 map record. Gladiator has won 3 of its last 5, and London has dropped 3 of their last 5. Some other scary stats for you London fans out there. Gladiators are 4-0 on Blizzard World, and London is 1-3. But on the last 2 maps, Ilios and Route 66, London plays much better than the Gladiators. Next up, we have the number 4 San Francisco Shock up against the number 2 New York Excelsior. Based off of what I just said, this should be a close match. But I think numbers are lying here, as Novapunk and Radid agree, as we all took New York. These teams have only played once before, and New York took a commanding 4-0 win. Another weak point for San Francisco is that in the last 5 games, they've lost to Valiant and Seoul, while New York's only loss in the last 5 games is versus Boston. San Francisco also has a much worse record on every single map that they will play in. I think we will see San Francisco fall from grace this week. Last up on Thursday is Seoul versus Philly in our first split matchup, and also what could be an epic battle. Nova and I have both taken Philly here, and Raded has decided to go with Seoul. Let's look at some stats. Only one head-to-head, going 3-1 in favor of Seoul. In the last 5 matches, both teams are 3-2. Looking at the map lineup shows a tight match with teams without one win on each of those 3 maps. But Seoul holds an edge on Nepal. This truly could go either way. Friday night brings us another Boston Uprising match, this time versus the lowly Dallas team. It's almost not fair at this point. The number 1 stage seed facing the number 11 and 12 stage seed teams back to back in 1 week. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. We all picked Boston to win, and I'll make this quick. The last 2 matches, Boston won 7-2. Dallas is 0-5 in the last 5. Boston is 5-0 in their last 5. It's probably going to end up with a 4-0 in Boston's favor, and it's not going to look pretty. I've also heard that Dallas is missing a few players. 1 to an illness, and 1 is back home in their home country. You might see an AKM and Seagull DPS duo this week. Next up, we have our second split pick in the Gladiator and Houston game. And this time, Nova is the odd man out. Myself and Raded have picked Gladiators, while Nova has picked Houston. This will be Houston's second LA team to fight this week. I think this is the more favorable matchup for them. Head to head, we have a 1-1 record, with a map record of 6-3 in favor of Houston. Houston will be feeling good after a 2-0 outing last week, where the Gladiators suffered an 0-2 outing. If we move on to maps, we see a dead even first map for Volskaya, but Houston plays much better in Nubani and Ilios, but struggles on Route 66. Looks like if Houston can move out strong and win the first map, they have a great chance to win the next 2 and close it out quickly. The last game on Friday night will feature Valiant and Florida. Again, this looks like it's not fair on paper, but Florida did take 2 maps from Boston and took them to overtime 2 weeks ago, but that didn't stop all 3 of us from picking the Valiant. Valiant is clearly the better team right now, but oddly enough, the last time these teams faced, Florida won. They have a head-to-head record of 1-1, with the map record being 4-4. However, the map matchup this week heavily favors Valiant, and I don't foresee Florida being able to win this game. Keep pushing, Florida. You're getting closer. Saturday starts off with a potential good matchup, if you believe in Stage 3 rankings. San Francisco will face London, and at the time of this recording, San Francisco has a better stage record. But if we look at the head-to-head records, it's not even a contest. London is 3-0 with a 10-2 map record. Yes, London has struggled, and San Francisco has been winning. But San Francisco has won versus Dallas and Shanghai. Granted, they made Philly look silly, but London has had to play Boston, Valiant, Philly, and New York. I look to see London get back on track this week. Next up is Seoul and New York. This is a classic matchup against 2 Korean teams who have always been at the top of the Overwatch League. However, as of late, Seoul has been sputtering. All 3 of the LTE boys have taken New York in this week's matchup, and the stats support it. Head-to-head, 2-1 in favor of New York, with a 7-7 map record. Seoul is 3-2, and New York is 4-1 in their last 5. However, Seoul got to play Shanghai and Dallas, while New York has been playing big games against the Gladiators, Philly, Houston, Boston, and London. It's hard not to pick New York in this matchup. Our last game of the week is looking to be another blowout, with Shanghai taking on Philly. With Shanghai being winless, I don't think the head-to-head or last 5 matches is going to show the stats on either side. Here's a tasty nugget. Shanghai has only 3 map wins over the last 5 games. Philly has 4 times that. The LTE crew really wants to see Shanghai turn it around and not end the first season without a win. But it looks like they might continue this trend. They could also move their team to Cleveland. At least they're used to winless teams there. I'm looking at you, Browns. That wraps up another weekly picks video from Less Than Epic. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe so that way you can get your next picks video next week at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 hours before game time. This has been Kinky, everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
If you like our coverage of the Overwatch League, let us know by liking and subscribing. And if you didn't, let us know why in the comments below. Maybe we can make it better. Thanks for watching, everyone.